No contact is not enough to get your ex back. Yes, no contact will bring your ex back, but it won't make them stay. And what good is it if your ex comes back but won't stay? Because if your ex comes back and leaves again, that's only going to make your heartbreak even worse. So what makes an ex stay? So in today's video, I'm going to show you 4 things that not just make your ex stay, but will have them regretting the breakup and be more in love with you than they were when they first met you. Stick around to the end for the bonus tip that I'm going to give you, which is ironically the most important of all. So the first thing that makes your ex stay when they come back has nothing to do with your ex at all. It's your belief that it can happen. Even though you're in no contact, you don't even feel that it's possible to get your ex back. And the reason why this is important is because confidence is key. Confidence is key in anything you do, but in terms of matters of the heart, romance, and in the confines especially of getting your ex back, confidence is key. Confidence is a deep-rooted self-love and self-trust. Confidence at its core is just a belief that whatever opinion that I have, whatever goal that I have, it's going to happen. If you don't even have the belief, the inner belief that this journey that you're on is even possible, you're wasting your time. That journey is going to end at the first step, whether you even know it or not. Because the energy that you're giving off is still rooted in fear. You're in no contact. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months. And you're still leading with fear that you don't think that they'll come back. And then when your ex does come back, that fear is still there. That fear is still palpable. They can feel it. They can feel that lack of belief. They can feel that lack of trust. They can feel that lack of confidence. Whatever you feel, your ex will feel. Your feelings, especially because we're dealing with attraction, and we'll get to that later, but attraction is a mirror. So whatever you have in here, it will be an outward display. So if you don't even believe that it's possible for them to come back, when they do come back, you're not even going to believe that it's possible for them to stay. And that fear is going to pour off of you and it's going to push them away. So I have to ask you though, if you don't believe that it's possible, why are you even engaging in this content? Why are you pouring your time and energy into these videos? Why are you pouring your time into reading books and listening to podcasts about breakups? Why don't you just move on and let them go? It's because deep down, you do have that belief that it's possible. It's just the fear far outweighs the belief that you have. Fear is a valid emotion, but fear keeps you stuck because our behaviors are dictated by our thoughts. So if you believe that it can happen, that outward display of that belief will be confidence, which is irresistible to your ex. The second thing that makes your ex stay is you detaching from the outcome. Now that may seem a little bit contradictory. Belief that it can happen, but detaching from the outcome. Detaching from the outcome, and this is something that I had a client struggle with who recently signed on to my program. They desperately wanted their ex back. Desperate is the key word here. Desperate is rooted in fear. That means you're latching onto this thing so much that you tend to compromise your integrity, compromise your self-respect. It consumes your thoughts. And something that consumes your thoughts makes you overthink that thing. Which leads to anxiety, which leads to fear, and which leads to you acting upon that fear, because fear is a great motivator. Detaching from the outcome means you're at peace with whatever happens. When you're at peace with something, it means that there's an acceptance there. It means that you're okay with where you are now. You're living in the moment. You're not worried about the future. You're not worried about the past, because the present moment is great. The present moment is amazing. This is where the mindset shift happens. And if you can't detach from the outcome, again, you're letting whether your ex comes back or not dictate your future, your past, and your present. And at that point, you're relinquishing your power and your livelihood and your happiness onto someone else. And that just means that you're incomplete here. That just means that you have a limiting belief, and this limiting belief is a blockage that you see your ex or someone else in your life as a completion of you, not a compliment to you, whether you want them back or not. Once you let them go, that allows you to really focus on the things that you have control over, the things that make you unique, the things that make you happy. It makes you realize that you have value, you have worth. Your worth can be tied to someone else. When you detach from whether they come back or not, It no longer defines you. And what does that do? That makes you attractive. You have a non-needy spirit because you know what's in here is greater than anything that they can offer you. That my life was whole, my life was amazing before they even came along. They added a little bit of flavor to it. They added much more warmth to it, but it was already the shit when they came along. You have to have that spirit. And if you can't detach from the outcome, by the time they do come back, again, you're going to be clinging just a little bit harder to them. And what does that do? That pushes them away. The third thing that you need to do that makes your ex stay is to take the spotlight off of your ex. Every video that you see on this platform and others is about, what is my ex doing? What is my ex thinking? Will my ex forget about me? Does my ex's dog have tapeworms, and what should I do about it? Everything is about your ex. What about you? What about you? Don't you matter in this? What about the person who matters more than your ex? You? What about you? Where do you come in? All of this focus on your ex makes it all about them. This consumes your thoughts. Again, this consumes your thoughts. It makes you overthink. It gives you anxiety, which leads to fear. And when you have fear, you are anti-attractive. You are anti-seductive, which is what Robert Greene talks about. Because whether you like to admit this or not, this is all about attraction and seduction. And if you're still living in fear, you make it all about them. What about you? What about the things that you need to focus on during this time? What about your limiting beliefs? What about you rebuilding your confidence? What about you focusing on your personal growth? What about your mental health? What about your emotional health? What about healing from the heartache that you experience? Instead of being up at 3 a.m. every night rethinking the breakup and wondering what your ex is doing and looking at their stories, when are you going to be up until 3 a.m. every night focusing on you and the things that make you happy and the things that enrich your life, and being with the people that are already in your life who didn't decide to leave? When are you going to be up till 3 a.m. focusing on the things that can take you to the next level? If you're going to obsess over something during this time, don't let it be your ex. Let it be you. I'm pretty sure you're that type of person who puts your partner on a pedestal. It's time to put your fucking self on a pedestal. Aren't you worthy of it? Don't you love yourself? If you love your ex more than you love yourself, I think you need to put the phone down, turn this video off, put the phone down, look in the mirror, and take a long look at yourself and ask yourself some very difficult questions. Yes, I know you want them back. I know you probably want that with every fiber in your body. But what about you? What about you? The fourth thing that you need to do that makes your ex stay is eliminate the fear that you have. Fear and attraction don't belong in the same sentence. You cannot attract someone with fear. You cannot attract someone if you're hesitant. You cannot attract someone if you're desperate. No matter how much fear you have, the strength is there. The courage is there. Fear is a great motivator. You wouldn't be a human being if you didn't have fear. But you have to use that fear as fuel to push you to the next level. Because if you're riddled with fear during this time and your ex comes back and they will see that you're riddled with fear, why would they stay? So it's time to rise up and take that fear that you have and don't allow this fear to paralyze you. Don't allow this fear to cocoon you. I'm still fearful to this day. You think I didn't experience a lot of fear when Coach Opus passed away? This is my partner that we started this entire business with. You didn't think that I had doubts that said, man, you can't do this without him? It was two of us. You think you can do this by yourself? You can't do this by yourself. That little shy, socially awkward kid came back out of me. Those limiting beliefs that I've always had since I was young, they came back out. You can't do this without him. You think you're gonna carry this on by yourself? I didn't run from fear. I understood it, and I used it to my advantage. Fear makes you become alert. Fear makes you look at things differently. Fear does add pressure, but you can't allow that pressure to overwhelm you. That fear is never going away, but you can't let it stop you. Whether your ex comes back, it doesn't matter. This is your time for growth. Fear is uncomfortable, but nothing of great value and magnitude that we in life, in this earth, on this earth, nothing is without discomfort. You're here because of discomfort. Childbirth is the most amazing thing on this planet, and women go through hours of pain to bring forth life. This breakup is discomfort. Use this time to build yourself back up. The opportunity is there. The Creator has given you this blessing, whether you know it or not. So when you see this as a blessing, as an opportunity to build yourself into something new, to build yourself into something greater, there's nothing to fear. That shit will fool you into the next level. It's fucking time. Don't see this as fear. See this as an opportunity. And if you have to lose your ex to become the person that you've been dying to become, then so be it. If you look at all of the people that we admire, from athletes to entertainers to titans in business, all great leaders, generals to revolutionaries, they all have a fearless vibe about themselves. They all have a very attractive energy. It's because they're fearless. We gravitate to those people. But when you're fearless, when you're confident, when you have conviction in something, when you believe in something, when you believe in yourself, that spirit radiates. Why would your ex not want to be back with you when they see that you have an energy that says, I don't need you. I love you, but I don't need you. You don't think that your ex would be attracted to that? Even more than they were when they first met you? That spirit is contagious. I'm better than I was when I was with you. That spirit is irresistible. But it takes effort to get there. But when you get there, it'll make your ex realize that the breakup was a mistake. And I go into that in this video. So go ahead and click on that video, and I'll see you on the flip side.